It's time to close up this closet opening with a sliding bypass door. I'm Travis and this is How I Do Things. Welcome to another episode of finishing a room in your basement. It's closet door time. Before I framed my room, I called my door supplier to discuss what door sizes they had available. Then I selected the size that made the most sense for the space and they gave me the correct rough opening, which is what you see here. If you're starting with an existing opening, then measure the height and width of the opening and give that to your door supplier. You can always cut the door down a little later if you need to. I have my doors and they came pre-primed, but before I install them, I'm going to paint them. It's actually very important to paint them before you install them because then you can paint the top and the bottom of the door. Painting the tops and bottoms of the door helps seal them and protect them from moisture. You'd be surprised how often this step gets skipped. I'll just be painting my doors with a foam roller and high quality interior trim paint. You can also spray them if you like. I painted the rest of my doors this way and they turned out great. I typically give them one coat of paint now and another after I install them. Now I'm going to be installing door jambs. I've seen some cases where people have just used a drywalled opening for doors like this. I wouldn't really recommend that. My doors are solid core and they're heavy. And when they hit that jamb, they can hit it with a lot of force and they definitely dent drywall. I ordered a pre-hung bypass door, which came with the guide rail already installed to make things a little easier. The door jamb may have came with some bracing to prevent damage in shipping. Knock off the bottom braces, but leave the rest on to keep the jamb square until it's installed. I'll attempt to slide the jamb assembly into the framing to see if the jamb needs to be trimmed or if it needs to be shimmed at the top. As you could see, I probably should have measured first because it was very apparent that the jamb needed to be trimmed. It can be awkward to do this with the jamb assembly not installed, so I took careful measurements and then trimmed the bottom with a square and a jigsaw. Now it fits much better. If you have a jamb assembly like this with the track already installed, be sure to assemble it into the door framing with the track opening to the closet side. I made sure the side jambs had a small gap at the floor. That way the floor can still float a little underneath the jamb. The top guide track needs to be flat and level as possible so the door will open and close properly. Use wood shims as necessary. Then use the screws provided to secure the guide track. Next, remove the last support pieces. I also put a few nails in the top jamb. Then shim out the side jambs so they are square to the top jamb and then secure both of them with 16 gauge brad nails or finishing screws. If the top jamb is level and the side jambs are square, they should be very close to plumb as well. Being square is probably the most important. As I was installing the guide rail, I noticed that there was only one hole for a screw. This seems crazy to me. These doors are very heavy, so I opted to drill one more hole on each end and add 2 more screws. I also went with a little heavier duty screw when I did this. And then this gap right here will be covered by the casing later. Install the roller about 1 1/4 inches from the edge of the door. And for now, just put screws in these 2 locations. Starting with the rearward door, tilt the door and set the wheels into the track, then let the door hang free. Did I mention these doors are heavy? Now do the same with the other door. Now adjust the doors so they hit the jambs equally on the top and bottom. To do this, slightly loosen the screw, then push up on the slot with a screwdriver and retighten the screw. Keep doing this until you're happy with the way the door hits the jamb. Once you're happy with your adjustment, or if no adjustment was needed, run another screw in here to lock in your adjustments. Now I'm going to be installing the lower door guide. Push the doors all the way to one side and observe how they line up with the side jambs. Then find the best spot for your door guide and mark its location. So I have 2 sort of unique situations going on down here. Number 1, I have a floating floor, and number 2, I have a concrete subfloor. To allow the floor to float, I'll drill a larger hole through the vinyl plank. Then I'll drill a smaller hole into the concrete and use concrete anchors to secure the guide. I won't fully tighten the screws so the guide can float just a little with the floor. Next, I want to install some door pulls so I can easily open and close the door. So I'm going to go to my hardware kit that came with my door and pull these out and throw them away. And then I'm going to grab some larger ones like this, and I put a link to these on Amazon, and install these instead. I think they look a lot better. These larger poles will also need a larger hole, so I grabbed this 2 1/8 Forstner bit. If you want one, I put a link down below. But before I drill a big hole in my door, first I'm going to drill a hole in a piece of scrap wood to make sure I'm getting the fit that I want. Once I was happy with that, then I measured an existing door so I could match the location. Then I marked the center of the hole in the new doors. Using your Forstner pit, drill the hole just deep enough to install the pole, then push the pole into the hole. I'll also install this stop so the doors can't slide too far. This is very straightforward. Just move the doors until you like where they stop, and then screw the stop into the door near the top. Now to make this look nice and pretty, I'll install some door casing and a piece of 1/4 inch plywood to cover up the gap at the top. Then all I needed to do was to caulk all the seams, fill the holes, and paint everything with a final coat of paint. What are you guys still doing here? Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, smash that like button. And then leave me a comment and let me know how I did. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you don't miss my next video. We'll see you guys.